It's a WRAL weather alert day. Damaging winds, hail, and an isolated tornado. We have chances to see it all tonight. The hours were most at risk and new models showing what to expect tomorrow.
Caught on camera, an Amtrak train slams into two cars in Raleigh.
Literally, I just saw the car is flying over my head.
Hear from the man who nearly risked it all to help one driver escape in time. Then an emotional first day in court for the father of a woman found dead in the woods in Wake County. What key question investigators are trying to uncover to help the case? Right now at 7, we are tracking storms across our area. Just look at all the lightning strikes over Lumberton and what looks to be in Fayetteville as well. In the last 45 minutes, we have seen alerts in several counties. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ashley Rowe.
And I'm Dan Haggerty, taking a look at what is, again, a very colorful radar. Our entire viewing area remains under a level 2 risk for severe weather tonight. We have live team coverage of this threat, which will be with us through the day tomorrow, sparking back-to-back weather alert days. Let's begin with meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Severe Weather Center with a timeline. Kat.
This is just round 1 moving through, Dan. We have a couple more potential rounds that are going to be headed our way. So all these storms that you see toward Lumberton and Fayetteville, Wilmington, and down into upstate South Carolina, producing about 800 strikes of lightning in the past 15 minutes. Remarkable there, just how much lightning that we have seen. In Raleigh, we've seen some lightning just west of the Triangle in Chatham County, Sanford area, but it's mostly rain that we are seeing. Not a whole lot of thunder and lightning around the Triangle. To the south, that's where we've got all the thunderstorms. Fayetteville, a lot of thunder and lightning headed your way, especially on the south side of town, and we'll need to keep an eye on that for some potential hail. We did have some damage reports come out of Moore County with the severe storm that moved through earlier. Brian Shader will have more on that coming up here in just a few minutes. But let's focus on the remainder of tonight. We'll dry out by 9, 10, 11 o'clock. It's not until very early tomorrow morning that we see our next potential round of severe weather. This should move through between about 3 a.m. and 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Damaging wind gusts would be the primary threat, and we'll see some of that rain around for the morning commute. And then the next complex of storms looks like it stays to our south. I'll have a closer look at when this threat clears out entirely coming up.
All right, sounds good, Kat. Thank you. Let's check in with Brian now.
Yeah, here in the WRAL Live Center, the WRAL storm tracker is on the road right now in Moore County. Of course, the worst of that storm has moved into Cumberland County, but you can see that we have wet roads on US 1 there, not too far from Aberdeen. And we are starting to get some reports of damage out of Moore County. Right now, the storm tracker is on the way to check out a tree that's reportedly down near the intersection of NC 211 and East Main Street in Aberdeen. Also getting reports of a tree down in Pinehurst at Lake Forest Drive, right around Torrey Pines Lane. Also in Robeson County, reports of hail in the Long Branch area this evening. When this storm moved through Charlotte and Gastonia earlier this afternoon, it did a lot of damage. Take a look at this video from Gastonia. A woman shooting video off her back porch as the storm moved in. Very high winds, widespread tree damage reported in Gastonia and Charlotte right now. Just check with Duke Energy, Dan, and at last check, 117,000 customers are without electricity, mostly in the Charlotte area.
Well, that wind was blowing, Brian. Thank you. And as we track this next round tomorrow, make sure to have the WRAL News app with your notifications turned on. That way you can find out about any weather alerts near you. It is free in your app store.
An Amtrak train slammed into two cars on the tracks near downtown Raleigh. I want to show you a closer look. So we zoom in here, we highlight this. See that blue there? That's the train going through, pushing the cars not long after the drivers got out safely. Investigators are still trying to figure out what happened, causing quite the close call. WRAL's Willie Danley live now with the breaking news tracker in Raleigh, where the crash happened. Willie?
Ashley, I spoke to a lot of people here at this scene, and they told me it was very scary to witness. It happened right there. This is Barrel Road going on to Hillsborough, and those are the tracks where that train made the impact. Take a look at this video. This is some dramatic surveillance footage from inside one of the workspaces near here. You can actually see people jumping to their feet in shock that they just witnessed a train hit a car. According to Raleigh police, this happened just after 1 o'clock this afternoon. Police say that both vehicles were struck on the train track, but luckily neither of them were occupied. I did speak to a man whose car was damaged in this crash. He says he pushed his car onto the train tracks, hoping to help the other driver get off of the tracks.
I saw the train is coming from that curve over here. I just run to the guy, the old guy, the driver. I tell him, man, get out the car. And once he get out of the car, before I go back to my car, my truck right here, I saw the red SUV, the one stuck in there, is flying over my head. That's all I can see.
That man tells me that he's very happy that he was here because he's not sure that man driving that red vehicle would have been able to get out in time. As I said, I did speak to a lot of other people who work around here, and they did mention to me that this is a very dangerous intersection, even though there is a sign that specifically says not to park on those tracks. I'll have more of this tonight at 10 and 11. Back to you.
All right, Willie, thank you. Kat, you have a severe thunderstorm warning to talk about.
Yes, this was just issued moments ago, Ashley. It includes Fayetteville. Parts of Cumberland County and Sampson County are under this warning. Damaging wind gusts are possible, along with the threat of some quarter-inch hail. And there's a lot of lightning. As I mentioned before, just in this one thunderstorm region right here, there have been over 200 strikes of lightning in the past 15 minutes. I'll have more radar updates coming up throughout the newscast, Ashley.
Kat, we'll keep checking in. Thank you. This afternoon, a grieving father watched as the man accused of killing his daughter appeared in court for the first time. This man's charged with first-degree murder after 23-year-old Tyra Bennett was found dead in the woods in Wake County. WRAL's Eric Miller takes us inside the emotional hearing and what investigators are still trying to figure out in this case.
If he's convicted, Noah Lorenzetti could be facing life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. Today in court, he accepted an attorney from the Capitol Defender's Office as this case continues to play out. It's a conversation Tyshawn Bennett never thought he'd have, telling his grandchildren about the mother they've now lost.
Your mom loved you. She really did love you.
Bennett says their mother, his daughter, 23-year-old Tyra, was a people person and outgoing. Now, he says this family wants justice.
She didn't deserve, this situation to happen to her.
Wednesday, the man accused of killing Tyra stepped into court for the first time.
Sir, you're here on a first appearance.
26-year-old Noah Lorenzetti faced a judge, his family, and the Bennetts as he stood in a Wake County courtroom for less than a minute. Lorenzetti was arrested just hours after Bennett's body was found in these woods just off Camley Avenue Monday morning. There's no word at this point how the two might have known each other.
Never heard him. She never mentioned him, never seen him.
Lorenzetti will be back here in court May 29th at 9 a.m. In the meantime, the Bennett family has set up a GoFundMe to help pay for Tyra's funeral. We'll have a link to that on our website. In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
Today, North Carolina lawmakers voted in favor of a bill that would add a new definition of anti-Semitism to state law. Supporters of what's titled the Shalom Act say it will help the state prosecute hate crimes against the Jewish community. The bill would add the Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's working definition of anti-Semitism to law. Critics, including some in the Jewish community, say it's too broad and could censor political criticism of the Israeli government. The bill now goes to the state Senate.
Raleigh is putting $5 million into new efforts now to move people out of homeless camps like the one we saw cleared recently. This one cleared along the highway near Garner. The city estimates it could save taxpayers $15,000 to $25,000 per year for every person who gets out of a camp and into housing. WRAL's Matt Tallhelm explains.
Right now, Raleigh says there are 69 homeless camps all across the city. This pilot program is modeled after one in Houston, Texas, that city says reduced homelessness there by 64%.
Whether it's a life's belongings packed up in trash bags on a park bench,
This is Hannah.
or a tent that's become home in the woods along a highway, this is reality for an increasing number of our neighbors in Raleigh.
What we've needed and lacked in some ways as a community is a targeted effort.
Stephen Groover is chair of the Wake Continuum of Care to address homelessness. He says it comes with a cost to the entire community.
ER visits, ambulance rides, police enforcement, city and police time, jail visits. Whether you know it affects you or not, it will.
The city says clearing camps can cost taxpayers $1,600 to $6,200 per person. It costs $35,000 per year to provide services to someone who's chronically homeless, but only $32,000 to get them into a home. The cost to taxpayers is even lower, $18,000 to $20,000 per year to provide rental assistance.
But I think what we're going to do is we're going to show the cost benefit of that and also the benefit to the people living in the camps and getting stable housing.
Raleigh Housing and Neighborhoods Director Emma Sutton is leading the city's new $5 million unsheltered homelessness response pilot program. It will help move people out of camps and provide them with rent payments. Money will also go to repair and expand affordable housing for people leaving the camps.
Permanent housing, and we're going to work with multiple partners across the community. All of this is going to take a lot of partnership.
Groover sees this as a new starting point toward a solution.
Because we're able to see a more vibrant community, a community that responds to need within our community, and also just a cleaner and safer environment.
Matt Tallhelm, WRAL News, Raleigh.
And this pilot program will help about 40 people to get out of camps and into housing. The city plans to track how this goes over the next year. If it is successful, the goal would be to expand that response to the homelessness that we've seen here in general. And we want to hear what you think about this conversation. It's a big conversation that we really need to start paying attention to in a growing community. We're working on an in-depth piece for tomorrow that explores homelessness in this area, what can be done, what needs to be done, and what the future may look like. Write me and tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Dan at WRAL.com, and join us right here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock as we go in depth.
Still ahead, addressing food insecurity for children in our area. How DoorDash and a local nonprofit are partnering to make it happen.
Security at Cumberland County Schools is about to get even better.
If we can stop weapons from coming into schools, then we won't have issues with weapons in the schools.
We'll tell you about the new open gate system that's going to be installed.
And as we head into break, let's look at these dark skies in Fayetteville. You heard Kat say we've got a severe thunderstorm warning here in Fayetteville until 7:30. She'll have a full forecast coming up after the break.
All Cumberland County schools will soon have new weapon detection systems in an effort to keep students safer. They're going to roll them out next year.
It's just the latest district in a growing list of counties across our area taking steps to equip schools with this kind of technology. WRAL Fayetteville reporter Gilbert Bays talked with school leaders about how the system works.
Well, getting into most schools is like trying to enter Fort Knox. You've got keypad systems on the door. You have intercom systems and cameras. And beginning next year here in Cumberland County, bringing a weapon onto campus is going to be even tougher.
This is what school is supposed to look like, a safe place for students to learn. Unfortunately, this is what school looks like when a weapon is found on campus. Code red lockdowns, sometimes forcing students and staff to leave buildings for safety. According to the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, during this school year, lawmen responded to 105 reports of weapons on school grounds.
Well, it's a scary time, but I feel as though our county is competent enough to make sure that we have everything in place so that our scholars and our families will feel safe each and every day in our learning environments.
Cumberland County Schools is putting its money where its mouth is to make sure schools are safe. Last night, the school board agreed to spend $3 million to install 2 open gate weapons detection systems in each of its 86 schools.
With weapons detection, it's different. It scans the type of metal that's on your body, so your phones and your key and your belt buckle won't hit it. But if you do have a weapon on your body, a hardened piece of metal or something that's shaped like that, then it'll pick it up and it'll alarm on that.
Kevin Coleman is the Associate Superintendent of Auxiliary Services for Cumberland County Schools. He says the neat thing about the open gate system is it's non-invasive and portable.
We can literally pick them up, take them, set them out, and then take people through that. Currently, they go through metal detectors to go into big football games and large games we have. That's cumbersome.
Now, school administrators know no system is 100% foolproof, but they say this open gate system just gives them an extra layer of security to help keep everyone safe. In Cumberland County, Gilbert Bays, WRAL News.
And in addition, Cumberland County Schools will use a visitor management system and improve its camera systems as well.
UNC Chapel Hill is adding safety measures for graduation ceremonies following several protests there on campus. There's a new clear bag policy that's being introduced. Graduates will have to show their student ID. The announcement also included a list of things that you can't bring into Kenan Stadium, like signs and flags. The university also addressed free speech laws and policies, saying those who don't comply and severely disrupt any ceremonies could be arrested and charged. A local nonprofit is teaming up with delivery service DoorDash to help make sure that children in Chatham County don't go hungry. 1 out of 7 children in that community don't have enough to eat each day. That's according to the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. WRL's Monica Casey shows us an innovative program hoping to close that gap.
The Cora PACS program not only addresses food insecurity for children in Chatham County, but also issues of transportation and social stigma.
This is 3.
These DoorDashers' cars are packed, not with takeout from restaurants, but food for children. Executive Director of the Chatham Outreach Alliance, Melissa Driver-Beard, tells me these boxes are packed with precision.
We're able to consider the whole child, and what I mean by that is we consider their needs, their preferences, their allergies, in addition to thinking about any social stigma that they may face.
Some feeding programs pack bags for children to take home on Fridays. George Moses Horton Middle School principal Braden Robinson says it wasn't always effective.
When it was backpack time, the students would be very hesitant to get food that they needed because the stigma of you were a backpack kid.
He tells me this protects the students' dignity at a school where about 30% are on free and reduced lunch.
This has really allowed us to support in a way that respects them, still fits into the social norms of a middle schooler.
The initiative has also made a difference in the lives of drivers like Thomas Beaker.
It moved me. I had a real connecting point with one of my customers, and she'd also was getting her kidney transplant. I've had a kidney transplant, so we had a moment, and I've just wanted to be a part of it ever since.
He encourages others to take the opportunity to give back.
The benefits go beyond money sometimes.
In Chatham County, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Did you hear the cicadas in Monica's package there? Kat and I were like, oh my goodness, those were loud. Let's send things over to Kat. Looking here at Southeast Wake County, Kat, and we see some nice sunset on the horizon, but it's not looking so good in Fayetteville.
Right. We've got some rain around Wake County, but Fayetteville seeing a much darker picture out here. We've had a lot of lightning in a storm on the south side of Fayetteville. So this is near the Stedman community where there's the worst of the weather passing through right now. You can see all that lightning, and that's one of the reasons why we got a severe thunderstorm warning is that storm. Damaging wind gusts and hail are the reason why that warning was issued, and it goes for about 10 more minutes in a small portion of Sampson County and the southern half of Cumberland County. All of this activity is moving to the east. You can see the rain to the north. We're just dealing with the rain, a few bolts of lightning, but nothing quite like what they're seeing in Cumberland County right now in our northern counties. And this is going to move east, so Wilson, you should see some rain, Rocky Mount as well. The rain's filling in Johnston County, and Wayne County is going to see some of that rain too. We've got another round of storms that we are tracking. That round is going to arrive overnight. Damaging winds will be the primary threat there. Just a small chance for some hail or perhaps an isolated tornado. The morning commute should be impacted by that round of storms. We're looking at an 80% chance of rain and storms at 6 a.m. That chance drops to about 40% by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. The good news is once we get past tomorrow's storm threat, our storm threat will decrease some as we head into the weekend. We could still see some scattered afternoon storms on Friday. At this point, we're not under a severe weather threat on Friday, though. And then Saturday and Sunday looking nice for Mother's Day weekend, mid to upper 70s. So we cool down behind the cold front that's helped to bring us some storms. Mother's Day looks nice, sunshine in the morning, partly cloudy by the afternoon. Temperatures about 70 degrees at lunchtime. A little cooler to start in the mornings this weekend. Low temperatures are going to be dipping back into the 50s, and we get a break from the heat once we get through this storm threat tonight and tomorrow. We're looking at high temperatures back in the 70s and 80s. No more 90s on our 7-day forecast. The normal high this time of year is 78. So temperatures are still above normal. We see them drop below normal on Saturday and then hover right around normal by the time we get to Mother's Day. Over the next 7 days, we do have some changes in sight. Tomorrow, especially in the morning hours, a WRAL weather alert day due to that severe storm threat. Scattered storms on Friday and then a break for the weekend. 79 on Sunday begins another brief warm up. We're in the 80s with some sunshine next Monday. But by the middle of next week, we could see a round of some soaking rain approach the area. That'll be the next thing we're watching. Brian Schrader standing by in the Live Center with some footage of a tornado that touched down in Tennessee, Brian.
That's right. Just in the past 15 minutes or so in Columbia, Tennessee, which is a town south of Nashville. Looks like a large tornado moved through that area. The National Weather Service issued a tornado emergency, which is a very rare thing, and we're getting reports of some damage there. Apparently, search and rescue efforts are underway. This likely is going to be a much bigger story as we head through the rest of the evening. And, of course, we'll have updates tonight at 10 and 11 on WRAL News.
Over the last 48 hours, we have seen some humidity, and apparently it's brought an iguana to Raleigh.
This is a big iguana, too. Raleigh police posted they found this 5-foot iguana. They say this is the second time this has happened this year. Officers are also asking you to report any iguanas you see. The department also used the hashtag #NotInFlorida. The iguana was taken to NC Wildlife Rehabilitation Center.
It's a big lizard.
Yeah. This week will mark a big step for Wilson's new baseball stadium.
Tomorrow morning, the town plans to break ground on the site downtown, holding an event on Douglas Street where the future outfield will be. Earlier this year, the city approved $73 million in bond money to build the stadium for the Carolina Mudcats. The team, as you may know, is moving from Zebulon to Wilson in 2026. The Carolina Hurricanes are looking for a comeback after another loss on the road against the New York Rangers.
The Canes put up a good fight last night's game 2, going into double overtime. But the Rangers finished it off with a win of 4-3. So the Canes head into Game 3 down 2-0 in the series. Caniacs will pack PNC Arena tomorrow night. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock. Let's just hope that they bring the energy and the emotion to help get these guys the win.
We'll get it back on track here. WRAL will have exclusive post-game coverage throughout the Canes' playoff run tomorrow night at 11:25. Go Canes. It was a nice comeback. That's what we're setting them up for. Thanks for making WRAL your choice for local news.
Our next newscast is at 10 on Fox 50 and 11 on WRAL. Have a great night.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.